Hello students, in continuity of chapter number 19, excretory products and their elimination. Now, we are going to study about mechanism of concentration of the filtrate, regulation of kidney function, micturation and some disorders related with kidney. First of all, let's discuss about mechanism of concentration of filtrate. As we know, mammals, they are having the ability of production of concentrated urine. Now we know about the structure and function of nephron, which is a structural and functional unit of human kidney. Henle's loop and vasa recta play significant role in this mechanism. Flow of filtrate in the two limbs of Henle's loop, it means that ascending and descending loop of Henle's loop, it is in opposite direction and thus form a counter current mechanism. The flow of blood through the two limbs of this vasa recta is also in counter current pattern. Probability between this the Henle's loop and vasa recta as well as the counter current in them help in maintaining in increasing osmolality towards the inner medullary interstitium. It is like from 300 milliosmoliter in a cortex to about 1200 in the inner medulla. This gradient is mainly caused by NaCl and urea. This is important here. This gradient is actually mainly caused by NaCl and urea. NaCl is transported by the ascending limb of Henle's loop, which is exchanged with the descending limb of vasa recta. NaCl is returned to the interstitium by the ascending portion of vasa recta. Similarly, small amount of urea enter the thin segment of ascending. This is important here to remember. How does it take place? Small amount of urea enter the thin segment of the ascending limb of Henle's loop, which is transported back to the interstitium by the collecting tubule. So this type of transportation of substances facilitated by the spatial arrangement of Henle's loop and vasa recta is known as counter current mechanism. So, what is counter current mechanism? That is that entire mechanism of transportation of this type of substances in Henle's loop, ascending loop, descending loop as well as other transportation through vasa recta. It is a spatially facilitated by this type of arrangement in Henle's loop and vasa recta, and it is known as counter current mechanism. Now what is importance of this mechanism? Actually this mechanism helps to maintaining concentration gradient say, in the medullary interstitium. Presence of such interstitial gradient helps in easy passage of water from the collecting tubule and thereby concentrating the filtrate. It means we can also say urine. It's a one type of concentrated urine or filtrate. Human kidney can produce urine nearly 4 times concentrated than the initial filtrate form. So this way, by this counter current mechanism, okay, when we study this mechanism, at that time we can understand why does it take place. It is actually one type of concentration of filtrate or urine. So water actually it is not discarded as a waste material from human kidney, and human kidney can produce urine nearly 4 times concentrated than the initial filtrate. So this entire mechanism, that is known as counter current mechanism, it is related with concentration of filtrate or urine in human kidney. And this way Henle's loop, ascending and descending, as well as vasa recta plays important role during this mechanism of urine or filtrate concentration in human kidney. Now, regulation of kidney function. Now we know very well about human kidney, its structure, its function, its unit, nephron, arrangement within the nephron, and function of different part of nephron in human kidney. The functioning of the kidney is efficiently, it is monitored and regulated by the hormonal feedback mechanism involving the hypothalamus, JGA, and is a certain extent the heart. Osmoreceptors in the body, in our body, osmoreceptors are there. It is activated by changes in blood volume, body fluid volume, and ionic concentration. Excessive ion of fluid from this body can activate this receptor, which stimulate the hypothalamus to release ADH. ADH means its full form is antidiuretic hormones. It is known as ADH in short, or we can also say vasopressin from the neurohypophysis. Now, what is the role of ADH? It means that antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin. If we talk about ADH, antidiuretic hormone here, it facilitates water reabsorption from later parts of the tubule structure, and that's why preventing this type of diuresis. So, its main function of ADH or antidiuretic hormone here, we can say it's a facility of water reabsorption from later part of the tubule and thereby preventing diuresis. Increase in body fluid volume can switch off the osmoreceptor and suppress the ADH release to complete the feedback. Actually, when we talk about the mechanism of any hormone, at that time feedback control is there in its mechanism. It is positive feedback control and negative. It means that whenever requirement of hormone is there, at that time they are secreted and function is carried out. And once function is over, its requirement is over, at that time its secretion is stopped. So we can say it's a one type of feedback or switch off and switch on mechanism. Simply we can understand positive, it means that when hormones are secreted, where requirement is there, and once requirement or function is over, at that time it's a one type of switch off condition. It means that at that time secretion of hormones stop. So this type of feedback condition related with ADH plays important role here. ADH can also affect the kidney function by its constrictory effect on blood vessel. This causes increase in blood pressure. Increase in blood pressure can increase the glomerular blood flow and therefore GFR. GFR means glomerular filtration rate. As we know, glomerular, this part of kidney in human nephron, its function is what? To filter out blood passing through it, and the filtration rate through this, it is known as GFR or glomerular filtration rate here. JGA plays a complex regulatory role fall in glomerular blood flow, or we can say glomerular blood pressure, or GFR, can activate the JG cells to release renin, which converts angiotensinogen in blood to angiotensin 1 and further to angiotensin 2 here. So it is important here to study. Angiotensin 2 being a powerful vasoconstrictor increase the glomerular blood pressure and thereby GFR also. Angiotensin 2 also active the adrenal cortex to release aldosterone. Aldosterone causes reabsorption of Na plus and water from the distal part of the tubule. This also leads to an increase in blood pressure and GFR. This complex mechanism is generally known as renin-angiotensin mechanism. So, for study of this type of regulation of kidney function, it is necessary to understand about the role of renin and angiotensin here. So, by this type of function, this type of mechanism is a complex mechanism and it is known as renin-angiotensin mechanism. Increase in blood flow to the atria of the heart can cause the release of ANF. Now, what is ANF? It is atrial natriuretic factor. It is in short known as ANF. ANF can cause vasodilation, dilation of blood vessel, and thereby decrease the blood pressure. It is important here, under the effect of this ANF, this factor, one type of mechanism of decrease the blood pressure. ANF mechanism therefore act as a check on the renin-angiotensin mechanism. So, this way the entire mechanism take place here. So, regulation of kidney function. The functioning kidney is efficiently this way monitored and regulated. We can also say by hormonal feedback mechanism involving the hypothalamus, JGA, and to a certain extent the heart. Here the main role is that is renin-angiotensin mechanism, and this way by renin-angiotensin mechanism regulation of kidney functions carried out. Now let's understand by studying this diagram. This diagram is actually gives clear idea about this entire arrangement of this tubular structure, where absorption and reabsorption take place. You have already studied about this diagram. We have discussed this diagram also. It is giving about the concentration of filtrate, this type of idea we can understand. So, one type of counter current mechanism. Here in this structure, so actually nephron, part of nephron we can say. We can see each and every part here, that is glomerulus, Henle's loop, ascending and descending part, then collecting tubule. Here the arrow suggests that which substance is actually absorbed or reabsorbed, or which substance is discarded through here. Okay, you can see here some ions, mineral ions, substances which are filtrate or reabsorbed by parts of this nephron, and at the entire mechanism at the end of entire mechanism, where this process is over, and then this fluid is actually collected by collecting tubule, and then after concentration of filtrate or concentration of urine mechanism, now unwanted substances is actually composition of human urine. You can see here it is collected by collecting tubule or collecting duct, and it is discarded through kidney. So this entire mechanism you can understand by studying this diagram also. Here in this diagram you can see the proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop, ascending and descending part of Henle's loop, and easily you can understand the entire mechanism of this concentration of filtrate or urine and regulation of kidney function. Now let us discuss about micturition. First of all, what is micturition? When urine is formed by the nephron is ultimately carried to the urinary bladder, where it is stored till a voluntary signal is given by the central nervous system, CNS. So we can understand when once urine is formed, it is collected by collecting tubule and carried out towards the urinary bladder, where it is stored till a voluntary signal is given by the central nervous system, or we can say CNS. The signal is initiated by the stretching of the urinary bladder as it gets filled with urine. In response, the stretch receptor on the walls of the bladder send signals to the CNS. CNS passes on motor message to initiate the contraction of smooth muscles to the bladder and stimulation relaxation of urethral sphincter, causing the release of urine. Process of release of urine is called micturition, and the neural mechanism causing it is known as micturition process. It is a micturition process. Once again, what is micturition? It's a process of release of urine, that is micturition, and the neural mechanism causing this process, micturition, it is known as micturition reflex. In adult human, on an average, we can say excrete 1 to 1.5 liter of urine per day. It is about normal, healthy adult human. Okay, so average 1 to 1.5 liter of urine per day excreted. Urine form is its a color is light yellow color. So watery fluid which is slightly acidic. If you talk about its pH, so its pH is round about 6 and has a characteristic this type of order, specific order. On an average, 25 to 30 gram of urea is excreted out per day. We are ureotelic animals, and in our urine, so actually 25 to 30 gram of urea is excreted out per day. Various conditions can affect the characteristics of urine. Analysis of urine helps in clinical diagnosis of many metabolic disorders as well as malfunction of the kidney. As we know very well, when we suffer from any abnormal condition of body, some disease condition, at that time actually as a diagnosis process, okay, type when blood diagnosis take place, in some conditions urine diagnosis take place. So by analyzing this urine also some disorders we can come to know about this. So by analysis this human urine pathological test, okay, we can come to know about abnormalities related with our kidney function. Here if we talk about some common examples, so as we know very well, presence of glucose in urine, that is glycosuria, and ketone bodies that is ketonuria in urine. They are indicator of diabetes mellitus. So, by analyzing of human urine in some conditions, its diagnosis, it is also helpful to know about any disease condition or abnormal condition. Generally what we understand that excretion process in human body take place through kidney. Actually through kidney some amount of water, urea, some drugs is unwanted part, okay, it is discarded through urine. But over and above this, role of some other organ in human body, it is also important for excretion purpose. Now, which are these some other organs than kidney? Such kidney is there, but lungs, liver and skin also help in the elimination of some excretory waste from human body. So now let's discuss about role of other organs in excretion for human body. Our lungs remove large amount of CO2, approximately 200 liter per minute, and also significant quantity of water every day. So role of lung is also there. If we talk about liver, liver is the largest gland in human body. It secretes bile containing substance like bilirubin, biliverdin, cholesterol, degraded steroid hormones, vitamins and drugs. Most of these substances ultimately pass out along with digestive vessels. So this way role of liver is also found here for one kind of elimination or excretion purpose from human body. Sweat gland and sebaceous gland in the skin. It can eliminate certain substances through their secretion. Sweat produced by the sweat gland is a watery fluid containing NaCl, small amount of urea, lactic acid and some other substances. Primary function of sweat is to facilitate the cooling effect on the body surface. As we know, production of sweat in our body, it's a one type of cooling effect for our body, for body surface, as well as it is also help in the removal of some of the wastage from body. Sebaceous glands eliminate certain substances like sterols, hydrocarbons and waxes through sebum. This secretion provide a protective oily covering for the skin. So, we can say not only kidney plays role for elimination or excretion of wastage substance from human body, but some other organs over and above kidney like lungs, liver and skin also help in the elimination of excretory waste from human body. Now some disorders of excretory system or in human body, some disorders, abnormality related with excretory system. Now let's discuss about this. Malfunctioning of kidney can lead to the accumulation of urea in blood. This condition is known as uremia, which is highly harmful and may lead to kidney failure. You know very well about kidney failure. When kidney stops function, it means that what is main function of kidney? So, elimination of excretory waste or harmful substance from body, that is main function. And this condition, it means that the accumulation of urea in blood, condition known as uremia, is highly harmful and may lead to kidney failure. In such patient, urea can be removed by a process of dialysis. When person suffering from kidney abnormality or a failure of kidney, at that time it is a artificial condition provided. It is known as hemodialysis, and by this process urea can be removed from the body of patient. During the process of hemodialysis, the blood drained from a artery is pumped into a dialysing unit called artificial kidney. Blood drained from a convenient artery is pumped into dialysing unit after adding an anticoagulant like heparin. The unit contains a coiled cellophane tube surrounded by fluid which is known as dialysing fluid, having the same composition as that of plasma except the nitrogenous waste. The porous cellophane membrane of this tube allow the passage of molecule based on the concentration gradient. Nitrogenous waste are absent in the dialysing fluid. What is purpose here? Main purpose, it is a elimination of nitrogenous waste, because due to the malfunction of kidney it does not take place, and hemodialysing unit is a one type of artificial kidney. So nitrogenous waste are absent in dialysing fluid. These substances freely move out and thereby clearing the blood. The clear blood, it means that from which nitrogen waste is removed, is pumped back to the body through a vein after adding antiheparin to it. This method is a boon for thousands of uremic patients all over the world. As we know, so many people, they are suffering from this, it means that kidney failure, and they frequently undergo this mechanism, that is hemodialysing, and in some patients also the kidney transplantation is carried out. Now let us discuss about renal failure. Kidney transplantation is the ultimate method, the correction of this renal failure, which is also known as kidney failure. Functioning kidney is used in transplantation from a donor, preferably a close relative, to minimize its chances of rejection by the immune system of the host. When any foreign organ, foreign body, foreign particle is introduced to our body, actually at that time our immune system gives strong reaction, strong response, and at any time chances of rejection are there. But if we prefer the kidney of close relative, at that time these chances are actually less. Modern clinical procedures technology have increased the success rate of such a type of complication during this mechanism. So this entire condition is known as renal failure, and in the patient sometimes kidney transplantation is also successfully carried out. One more disorder, renal calculi. Generally stone or insoluble mass of crystallized salt. Okay, so oxalates and some other substances form within the kidney, and it is known as renal calculi. Okay, generally what we understand, that is stone or insoluble mass of crystallized salt. Okay, it's openly oxalates or some other, and it is formed within the kidney, and this abnormal condition or this disorder is known as renal calculi. Glomerulonephritis. This condition is actually inflammation of glomerular of kidney. As we know, in the structural and functional unit of kidney, nephron, glomerulus is important part for filtration of blood here, and this type of inflammation condition of glomerular region of kidney, this type of disorder due to entry of protein or red blood corpuscles into filtrate due to any injury. So, now we can easily understand when due to any condition, if function of kidney is disturbed, actually it creates condition or disorders related with our excretory system or kidney, and these are main disorders related with excretory system. So generally uremia, it means accumulation of urea in blood. This condition leads to uremia. Another is renal failure. Here the kidney failures chances are there. Renal calculi is a formation of stone or insoluble masses of crystallized salts, and one that is glomerulonephritis is a inflammation of glomerule of kidney. So due to this type of condition, this situation is actually observed in human body, and these disorders are related with human excretory system.